Welcome to the Spice of Life podcast, where we take bold risks, build real wealth, and use money as a tool for freedom and legacy. I'm Luke Spicer, and each week we uncover the principles of ownership, independence, to business and life. Whether you're an investor, entrepreneur, or tradesperson, this show is about creating freedom today and legacy for tomorrow. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Spicer Life podcast. This is the Christmas Day special. Mike said, hey, I don't want to pretend it's Christmas Day. We don't have to pretend it's Christmas Day. It's being released on Christmas Day. Mike, welcome to the show. This is Mike from Steel Pony Farms. I didn't say that. I know you, but my audience might not. So welcome to the show,
Yes,
Mike.
thanks. Super good to be here. Excited to have a chance to spend some time with you.
Yeah, me too. We've been talking about this for a while, so I was pumped. And the reason I wanted to make this for Christmas was because I saw you in an awesome Christmas sweater in one of your Instagram reels or stories or something. And I was like, man, I want to talk to Mike on Christmas Day. I saw the sweater and I was like, let's do it because we're releasing this episode on Christmas Day. So for those of you who are tuning in to see it, it'll be good. Mike,
I started believing in Santa Claus like 2 years ago.
okay.
Like legitimately, I'm just like in. I'm a convert, and so I got a Christmas sweater, and it was from like a really cheesy Hallmark Christmas movie.
Yeah.
But I like watched this movie and I'm like, holy, I believe in Santa now, actually.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell you a
Yeah.
little bit more about it?
Sure.
I don't know, I'm
Yeah.
just hijacking things here, but
You're fine.
it's just what I wanted to talk about. Like, I had like a real resistance to Christmas for a long time because
Okay.
of the consumerism of it.
Yeah,
And
I
then
still do. Yeah.
then particularly like having kids and being like, oh man, this is just more plastic stuff in our house. Um, but something this movie like just kind of brought up for me that I hadn't really thought of before is that it's like literally the only day of the year where everything shuts down. And I mean, I
Yeah.
know Walmart's still going, but like almost everything shuts down. And if it wasn't for Christmas, I'd probably just always be working. Like I would never stop. It would just be like work day after work day after work day. And so I just kind of started believing that like I'm gonna believe in Santa Claus now because it's like there's a power to this, right? And yes, there's like a Jesus power of it, but there's also just like this Christmas spirit, and I'm like into it now. I'm like Santa's little helper, and I just love Christmas now.
Yeah. So I can appreciate that. I love driving around on Christmas Day because it's like a ghost town. Like in the afternoon, like early morning is even the best, right? And it's rare that I do it anymore, but like we used to drive across town or whatever, and I used to just love it because there'd be like no vehicles out in the city, and that's kind of weird. You know what I mean? It's the only day it happens because every other day there's always
Yeah,
something. People don't because it's also winter. So then, like for us here, right, or the snow. So it's already like people are like, well, we don't have to go out. We don't want to go out. So it's very rare, and all the businesses are closed.
right,
Driving through downtown's pretty fun because it's really just like, what is going on?
right.
But yeah, the consumerism, that stuff never really got to me either. I was always like, I think it's different as dads. When you got little kids, it's different because the magic of Christmas is there. Um, but a couple weeks ago, I did that Supercars and Santa for Tyson at Adrenaline, and he called me up. He was in a pinch, needed a last minute Santa for the day. And I said, yeah. And I got to go be Santa Claus for the day. I
Oh,
put
cool.
on the Santa outfit and I sat in the shop, right, with all the adrenaline, all the exotics, the Ferraris and Lambos, and people were lined up. They do it as a fundraiser. So you get a picture with Santa, and then you just gotta bring in an unwrapped gift. And then they
Okay,
take all the gifts to the Roald Dahl Children's Hospital right here in town.
nice.
And
Okay,
fire truck delivered me to the store, right? And so
fun.
fire truck came in with engines and I got out, sat in there. And man, it was so cool because I've always really liked babies, and
Okay,
like and then now like our kids are older, we're all older as friends, so it's not like I got friends that are having babies right now, right? And the kids are in a
right.
weird, like, there's no grandkids coming anytime soon. And then I'm like, whoa, I get to just like sit there was like tons of babies that people were like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, oh, little baby, hey, little dude," like, and I'm talking and like, me and Santa, and they're like, "Oh, this is great." And I said to him, "I was like, dude, I'll do this next year. That was so much fun." Like, and then I actually had people reach out to me and say, "Hey, we didn't know you did Santa Claus. Like, can we hire you next year?" And I was like, "Shit, is that going to be my gig at Christmas, being Santa?"
It's like your unexpected new career path.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, my beard's getting kind of gray. Maybe, a couple more years it will be gray, maybe.
From
Um,
selling silver to silver bells, Luke
there you
Spicer.
go. Silver bells, yeah. I but in saying all that, like we went to the hospital, right? The Ronald McDonald House, and we delivered the presents after. None of the kids were there, which is too bad actually, because I thought, oh, this would be kind of cool, eh? Santa's rolling
Right.
in deep with all these presents, but they still recorded it, so I think they showed it to the kids, and it
Great.
just reminded me. So it kind of made me go, wow, yeah, that's actually what the Christmas spirit is. And like it isn't just consumerism, it's about like smiling and making people happy, and to see all the joy on all those little kids' faces as they're coming up to get on Santa's, sit beside Santa
Right.
and stuff. I was like, that's pretty neat. So I can appreciate what you're going through, and saying that, like, having that day is a rest day. Because I mean, let's be honest, man, farmers don't really. I mean, you're seasonal to an extent because you're not growing your own food this time of year, but you're now having to outsource and find it and order it and do all the other stuff for your online store.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm not really doing much weeding at this time of year, but there's just a ton of other stuff to always be doing. I mean, I think anyone who's dealing with fresh produce, it's like, or just fresh food, there's not a whole lot of breaks, and it's hard to orchestrate a break because you're always ordering like a few days to a week in advance, and these things come in, and then they've got like a shelf life that you've got to work with, and yeah, I don't know. I'm stoked, man. I'm so excited to have some time off.
Yeah, and are you like, and when you say some time off, then are you taking a break like deeper than just the day or a couple days?
Yeah, we're gonna shut down like the week between Christmas and New Year's.
Oh,
I
so there is
know.
no delivery that week.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, if some people might kind of be a little not really excited about it, but I found in the past that people orders really go down that week. Like it's super small. And like considering like the return on my investment for that week,
Yeah.
it's worth taking time off and giving my staff some time off. And
Yeah. And then everybody will ramp up on that first Sunday back where they can order. You'll have some big orders then probably for that
yeah, that's the
in the
hope.
new year.
Everybody,
Yeah.
their fridge is bare and they're just ready to get some local food in it.
So, yeah. So for those of you guys who don't know Mike, right? Mike's been a farmer here in our community for what feels like forever. Because like I remember coming on when you first launched this crazy idea, I thought, but I liked you and I wanted to support you, and you were doing the farm share deal. And I always joke because I was like, we buy a share in the farm, and we're like, we're in it, good or bad, we're getting our share. So I always joked, I was like, yeah, like if they sold 100 farm shares, if there's 100 carrots that week, we all get one carrot. I mean, that's just
Right.
the way it is. And, and
Right.
I remember picking them up in West Park and getting, coming in, getting the pick, and like sometimes and being like, there's still dirt on these vegetables. I'm like, this is crazy. I was like, what is going on? But I loved it because I knew that it was real food. Like, not that the grocery store doesn't have real food, but it's like you say that, and then I'm like, every apple looks the same. It's like all this
Right.
GMO crop stuff. And like you just know, I'm like, hey, this is a crooked carrot. That means it's probably real and it's gonna taste good and it tastes
Right.
delicious. Um, so for our like people that don't know, right? And like walk me through how you even got into farming versus any other career. Like what made you want to do what you're doing?
Um, so like right out of high school, I started questioning a lot of things. And it was like I don't know exactly what set me on the path, but it was like everybody was driving and I was like, why would I drive? It's just like burning fossil fuels and everybody's drinking alcohol, and I was thinking like, why am I going to drink alcohol? It's just like a ton of agricultural land that could be used as natural habitat, and now it's having chemicals sprayed on it. to make beer for people, and everybody's eating meat, and a lot of the meat isn't produced well, so why would I eat meat? Like I don't know, I just had like a real like I didn't like the man, you know. I was like I was just angsty about things. And it led me into this path, a temporary path of like resisting everything that was normal, basically, right? Like I was just like sleeping on a mat on a floor in a dorm room um, in university. I didn't want a bed or anything. And it was like a weird time of my life, but it got me thinking about food and like where does food come from and why are we like shipping food all throughout the world and when we could be growing it at home. And it kind of culminated in this experience I had in Kenya, which really changed the trajectory of my life. And I was in a really rural town, rural village, like it was like mud huts and no electricity. And um, I was staying with this family who asked me through a translator. They're they were really proud of their little farm that they had, their little shamba they called it, and they told me like, "Well, what's your farm like? Like, tell us about your farm." And like they just completely assumed like we all farm like everything almost that we've ever eaten, we've grown ourselves, and so it's probably like that all around the world. So what's your farm like? And I told them I didn't have a farm, and they were just so confused. Like it was like I don't know, I told them that I don't know, I told them something strange. And so they said like, well, if you don't have a farm, where does your food come from? So I said, well, my food comes from the grocery store. And then they had like, oh, okay, tell us about the grocery store's farm. And they just didn't even stop. Like they didn't have this system of shipping food all over the world. So like
Right.
I told them like it comes from China and Mexico and California, and they were just like totally blown away. Why are you shipping food all over the world? Can't you grow food in Canada? I was like, well, you can grow food in Canada, but there's like a lot of canola and there's a lot of wheat and barley. And like some of it's things we eat, some of it's stuff we just export. But like in terms of like, here's your dinner, like where did that food come from? In most cases at like 20, 25 years ago, it was like totally untraceable, right? Like we didn't have any idea where that stuff was coming from, but certainly it wasn't coming from Canada in most cases. So yeah, it just got me thinking. It like set me on this path, and I was like, why aren't we eating local food? Like, can't we grow food back home? And so I decided that when I got back to Canada, I was like, at the very least, I was just going to put some time and energy into following that thread a little bit. And
Yep.
so I came back. I had 1 year left of university. I got a degree in literature. I finished that year, and then through some various means and processes, I ended up out cycling from farm to farm and just stopping and learning. So for about 2 summers, I did that. One was a little more organized with this bike tour, and I stopped on a bunch of farms in BC, on Vancouver Island, probably about 6 or 10 farms, and I'd spend between like a day and 3 or 4 days. And then I ended up moving to Ontario. I got an office job there in an NGO, and I just didn't love the office thing. And then ended up interning on a farm in Quebec, a vegetable farm in Quebec called Juniper Farm. And it was so cool to like have an opportunity to be at a farm from the beginning of the season all the way through to the end. Because up to that point, I'd just seen little glimpses. I'd show up and there's like a great herb garden ready to harvest, or carrots are ready to go. So I'd learned a little bit of the pieces, but then I got a full season experience on a farm, which really connected a lot of the dots. And I just like fell in love with this. I was like, wow, there's something so real about growing food. It's just, I mean, it's like it's a need we all have, right?
Yeah.
And at that time when I was questioning a ton of stuff in my life and questioning a ton of consumer choices, there was just something like so undeniable about like a truth of just food, grow food. Like that's got to be a good thing to do. So, um, finished that internship in Ontario, came back to Alberta, kept biking around and stopping at farms and got to know a bit more about the local community, and then started my own farm kind of based on that juniper farm model, which was called community supported agriculture. And this is like what you were part of the first year 15 years ago. Thanks for sticking with me, man.
Of
Um,
course.
it's been a long time.
It
And so
has.
at that point in time, it was like we didn't have very much sophisticated software or anything. It was basically like we'd say we can harvest vegetables for 14 weeks this year. It's $20 a week. Cut me a check for the total, 14 times 20, or so, something like that. Um, and then it was kind of just like a surprise box every week.
I know. Remember that? Yeah. Like you know, but and at the time I was like, God, well, I need to eat this. I need this. And I remember because it was like obviously I was with my ex then, and I was like, well, this is kind of weird. And she's like, and she was annoyed, and I was annoyed at different periods, right? Not with like you, but just like, what do we even do with this?
Right,
And at the time, I actually feel like almost bad that I was so ignorant to it, but it was like we were introduced to things that we would never order.
right,
Right. So it opened like I remember having, and I mean, I had some of this stuff growing up because my mom had a garden. It's like
right.
Swiss chard, for instance. I love Swiss chard, but
Me
like
too.
if I would have had it one or two times, I wasn't crazy over it. But after getting it, well now we got we paid for it. Like we don't want to just throw it out. So like we should turn it into something, and we would have
Right,
to like make these creative recipes. And I remember talking to you and being like, well, what do we even do? Well, you can make a salad, and you would tell us about the different vegetables that we had every week. And I just remember thinking like about like leaving there going like this is actually kind of cool that we're getting all these crops that we're just getting to try out. Were you I don't remember this, like where your farm is now, is that where you've always been, or how long have you been there?
where I'm at now, I think I've been here, I think it's like 10 or 11 years, maybe 11 or 12 years. So I started off, friends of mine, the Youngs, they have a acreage just down by Fort Normandale, kind of like
Okay.
the neighbor of Fort Normandale. So I started off there for 2 years, um, and then kind of had a false start at another property, and then got started here out at Tamara Ranch. So it's just
Okay.
southeast of Red Deer.
Yeah.
It's,
And when
it's like,
you moved to the ranch, were you still doing the farm like the share option at that point, or had you already switched, like what point did you switch to what you're doing? And I know it wasn't always like this, but like, did you switch? Tell me a little bit more about when you switched
so
out of it.
I think it was probably did about 8 years where it was just that strict farm share model,
Okay.
maybe 9 years. And then it was right around COVID time when everybody's talking about food security, and we were concerned maybe trucks would stop shipping, or maybe the
Yeah.
border would close, or like maybe the pandemic would be way worse than it was, and we just couldn't get food because farmers were dying all over the world or something.
Yeah.
Like they're like it was a bad time for the world. It was a great time for local farmers, because people started to talk about us for like basically the first time in my career.
Right.
We got like popular, we got mainstream because people wanted to make sure they'd have access to food. So right around that time, I also started thinking about like just general marketing and business management, and I put quite a bit of time and energy and money into marketing
Yeah.
to only serve customers for 14 weeks out of the year. And then I'd basically be like, see you in 20 weeks or 30 weeks or whatever. And then they wouldn't hear from me for that period of time. And then I'd message them and have to kind of remarket to them like, hey, remember
Right.
me? You used to get vegetables from me. You want to do it again this year? Um, so, but then also from the customer side, it's like, there was just an opportunity for me to serve customers better and to
Yeah.
provide more utility in their lives than just a 14-week veggie box. So it started really slow, like friends at Wild Brewing Co. had kombucha, and Roland at Dose had coffee. And like just little by little, I added a few products. But there's kind of this, I don't know how, I don't want to get too into the boring details, but there's like this period of time where I had to like figure out how to switch the finances of things too, because I was going from like strictly selling products that I grew myself, which had high margins, to starting to incorporate products that I was reselling, which have much lower margins.
Yeah.
And so if someone was paying like $280 for a farm share for the summer, but then they were getting like a whole bunch of kombucha and coffee and eggs and all these things that I didn't grow, maybe my profit on that might have gone from like 50% profit margin down to like 10% profit margin or something like that. So I had to like switch the model and stop doing this like pay up front model and just basically turn it to like an online marketplace of
Yeah.
local food. And so that's what we're doing now. We've got like in the neighborhood, it kind of varies week to week. It'll be 300-ish local products. And then we've got another like 10 or 20 products from a little further away just to fill the gaps in like the off season.
Seasonality. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we've got in addition to vegetables and fruit, we've got lots of different meats and pre-prepared meals and coffee and tea and preserves and herbs and pasta and a little bit of like local body care kind of things. And I mean, the goal now for me is to figure out like I know a lot of people care about local and I know a lot of people care about like high quality organic. And if you live in central Alberta and you're really trying to do a good job, you've got to stop at Pure Earth Organics and Big Bend Market and the Gasoline Alley Farmers Market and Nutters and like you end up spending all weekend driving around to get the good food. And so we're just trying to do like a one-stop shop where I create relationships with these different farmers or vendors or food producers, um, kind of curate it in a way that I think people trust, and then find a way to distribute it throughout the week.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's kind of funny because well, funny is not the right thing. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but I'm like, I also know you do deliveries, right? And I have to say it to Rin. I'm like, why don't we just get him to deliver it? Like we're just literally up the road too, and then we don't have to drive all the way down to get it. And then she's like, well, I'm usually doing it on our, like on our in tour that we do kind of thing.
Right.
And today she's like, "Hey, can you go down? Well, not today, Christmas Day, but today when we record this." But she's like, "Can you go down and get the box, right?" And it's like it whatever, man. It was like -30 day, and I was like, "We always go together." And I was like, "Well, you're not coming?" She's like, "Well, no, I got to get stuff done with the girls." And I was like, "Yeah," and I start the truck or whatever. And it was funny because like as soon as I walked in there, and I knew we were recording this after, right? Or like, tonight, and I was like. I like coming down here. Like it's just a nice trip out. I grabbed a little can of kombucha for my drive home, and
Right.
I was like, no, I do like coming out. But it's like neat because yeah, if I had to drive, like you said, right? If I got to drive to the grocery store and this place and that place, and like I know we get like you guys always joke, like because we get a lot of food from you every
Yeah.
week. Like are we one of your biggest orders every week?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. So the reason I ask that is because I'm like, I don't even think we order that much. Um, and I'm like, when I'm there, sometimes I'm, because we like to chat, and we'll just talk. Sometimes we hang out, we're chatting with Farmer Mac when she's there, and and the kombucha people like Whitney or whoever else is in there, right? And
Right.
like, um, I watch these bags go out, and it's like a grocery bag, brown paper bag, a grocery bag, and I'm like, are these single people? Are these families? And then I'm like, are these people go get all the rest of their groceries at like the grocery store, right? And,
Right.
and I'm like, and I think there's probably a mix, but I wonder, I'm like, why are people not just getting it from, if you think about like if all of your clients got the orders that we get every week, right? And stop going to the grocery store.
Oh
Like
man.
it wouldn't even make an impact on the grocery stores. You know that? Like it
Right.
it would be nothing. To like the big conglomerates like Safeway and Save On and all like
Right.
there's no more Safeway anymore. So I guess it would make a difference. They might go under. No. But like we just looked at it and it's like I can literally get everything that we get from the grocery store. Now, we got to go get some spices. Like there's some things that we've got to get
Right.
once in a while, right? Or like the other night, what was it that we needed? And we would normally get it from the farm box, but I was just like, we ran out and I was like, well, whatever, I'm going to get it. Like, we'll order
Right.
more on Sunday, but like I need it now. I don't even remember what
Right.
it was. Could have been cream or something like that, right? We just drank too much coffee and need some cream. And I often think that I'm like, it's so nice that I can just get it from somebody local. I know that like I want the quality of food that we get because it is organic. I know you have some organic, some not, but I'm just saying we know that we can get organic food. I trust where it's coming from. I trust you, so I trust that the sources that you're getting it from are going to be in alignment with what you would want in your own family. Um, and as you've started to add in more and more like uh, complementary things, right? That you can't grow or whatever. I mean, we can even get our coffee from you now. So I'm like,
Right.
okay, well, I don't have to drive out to the Gas Alley Market to get it. I can just order it in the farm box. And I'm like, that's great.
Right.
And if it's $1 more or whatever, I don't even care because it's like it's a service and I can just get it. And yeah, I would wish that more people would do that with you. I'm like joking because I'm like, as you say, you're onboarding more stuff. I'm like, you should sell silver there, Mike, because Costco does it. You could be like Costco and you can start selling silver to your clients. And and so but I do, man. I think it's so awesome what you guys have built and to see this over, yeah, almost, 15 or, I say almost 20 years, but 15, 16 years to see just with your little pop-up tent, in front of the West Park place to now you've got
Right.
this big farm you do your daily staff meetings there with your team. Yeah, I'm happy, man. I'm
Well,
glad to see how far you've grown with your business and to be able to take something that you're just personally passionate about and share it with our community.
well, thanks for your support, Luke. Like actually, like I was thinking about today, like I'm just so grateful there's so many families who prioritize ordering food from us. And I mean, you guys in particular, you and like 10 other clients really put your money where your mouth is. And it's like I see you getting a huge portion of your groceries from us every week. But I'm just so grateful because I know like food really like to me food's like the most important thing. I mean it's
Yeah,
I don't know it's like top three for sure, top five. I don't know. It's
yeah.
like I feel like you want to fuel yourself with really good fuel to perform, to like be there physically or mentally or emotionally or whatever it is. And it's just really it just hit me today for some reason. It's such a privilege to have all these people who could get it faster and easier and possibly times a little bit cheaper at the grocery store, but they choose Steel Pony and like through choosing us or choosing John Mills down the road in Bowden and Dave Shermer up at Woody Nook Road and Ryan Mason over by Edmonton and like all these farmers who it's like it's just our mission to produce food for people. It's really cool to be acknowledged and to like have people's attention and these transactions, which is the lifeblood of any business.
Well, and when you say like it could be quicker, I'm like, I mean, it doesn't get much quicker than sitting on the couch on Sunday night and placing your order and then driving down for 5 minutes and picking it up. And like, so I know the grocery stores do this, the big ones, right? You pull in to stall one and they'll deliver your stuff out, right? We've
Right,
tried that before years ago. And like they got kids that are just like grocery kids that are like the stock boys, right? They don't give a
right,
crap. They don't
right,
care. Like, do you know how many times you get like smashed up apples or like you're getting like I'm like am I getting all the like almost throwaway stuff? And now I know it's not like horrible, but it's not
right,
great. Like it's rare that we get a piece of fruit from you that's not like perfect to eat, right? Like
right,
I just feel like, when you guys are putting it into the boxes, you're like making sure you're like this is good. This is a good orange. This is a good orange, and like it's awesome, and yeah, it's rare that we have to throw anything out because it's spoiled. Like I mean, we eat it. Rin obviously buys. We get pretty consistent stuff,
right.
um, and I like it that yeah, you've got these like those fresh bread makers now. I never pay attention to the label or whatever, but we always get those. She always gets a couple of those focaccia breads.
Oh
They're
man, those are
delicious.
good, hey?
Yeah, and then all the fresh, the farm, I say farm fresh like dairy, right? The cream and the milk and stuff like that. And
Right.
then We grow, a decent amount of our own food here. But again, it's like such a short window. Um, and it's so much friggin' work. And I'm like, why are we doing this? We should just
Right.
pay Mike and then enjoy the summer. But that was another story. But Rin likes it. And I grew to like it too over the years where I'm like, actually, it feels good to have my hands in the soil and do stuff, and I'm not out there as much as she is, but I got to build it all, which I liked.
Right.
Um, and but yeah, like I mean, we've got our chickens and ducks, so we get fresh eggs, but winter they go down, right? So to be able to order eggs from you, um, we literally do like I don't I go to the grocery store and we buy junk food. Like
Right.
literally, I go to Save On and I buy chips and gummies. And
The
I'm
grocery store is a great place for junk food.
yeah. Mike should launch a junk aisle in his grocery store.
I mean, it's like it's
I bet
tempting.
he'd make a killing. You're like bags of
Junk food
bags
aisle.
of Lay's chips and chocolate bars and stuff, and like Mike's grocery bills are skyrocketing.
Well, I
Um,
think it's funny because like I mean like good food has really low margins and junk food has really high margins. And so it's like it's tempting to sell a bunch of junk food with higher margins, right? And but I like I don't want to dilute the quality of what we're doing. Like I want people to really think about us and be like, "Oh yeah, man, like this is healthy food. This is good food." And we have a bit of stuff that's like it's like edge case where it's kind of like junk food but like all good ingredients that like you can feel good about. And so it's just like our job to regulate how much we're eating of that because
yeah.
food in is food in. But
Give me an example of one of those things. What do you got?
well, okay, I it's like those there are these salted caramel they're like a 4-pack salted caramel peanut butter cup. Um
What?
and it's
Yeah, I
like
should maybe take advantage of ordering this food once in a while. My
yeah,
wife
man,
does.
there's like medicinal mushrooms in it. It's like organic ingredients. It's like really
Great.
really good. It's like it's way different than a Reese's peanut butter cup. It's like a gourmet, high quality. It's a total insult to call it junk food. I'm
Yeah. Is
it's
it like
not
and
junk
is it
food.
like a raw chocolate then?
I think they're raw, yeah.
Who makes? Where
Yeah,
do you get
it's a
those from?
company called Hear Me Raw. They're out of
Oh.
Canmore. So yeah, they're raw.
Well, Rin edits the show, so she's gonna hear this. So Rin, you better, babe, you
Okay,
better
yeah,
order
Rin,
me
pick
order
up.
me some peanut butter.
She probably has been, but they just you don't see them.
Yeah,
That's
because I
what
don't ever unpack it. I
like
carry it in usually, and then I just leave
my
them in.
wife orders them every week, and I don't see a whole lot of them.
Meanwhile,
I
you're like eating them as they come in at the store.
I have my own box in the fridge at the farm. Yeah.
That's it. Paper money's losing power, but real money, it's been trusted for 5,000 years. When banks print, inflation steals, and markets shake, gold and silver stay solid. Don't wait for headlines. Own what's real. Visit learnwealthcycles.com and start building freedom with physical silver and gold today. Good idea. Yeah. You see that all the time. I actually said, you know what? Like I'm tired of being really big, and I said I'm going back. Like I don't do moderation very well in my life. Like when everything that I do is kind of pretty like to the extreme.
Okay.
Like to the point where like if I'm gonna be lazy, I'm gonna be extreme lazy. Like I'm gonna sleep
Okay.
a lot, I'm gonna lounge, I'm gonna eat junk food. And that's been kind of going on for a couple of years now. Like I work a lot of hours and we help clients and stuff, but I've noticed like I have no desire to go to the gym. And I just said this has to change. Like Tuesday, I was like, nope, I'm done. And I texted her after we have our big morning mastermind meeting on Tuesdays that I do, 6:30 in the morning till about 8. And I left that meeting and I was like, I'm making some major changes. I'm done. And I texted her and I was like, I'm going back to my very strict bland diet of food like I used to eat when I'm fighting because I just need to reset everything. And I'm
Right.
like, I'm not even eating on Christmas. I'm like, I'm done.
Okay.
I want to just eat what I eat. And it's been tough because of course tonight I came out to get like a drink before we started recording and I saw the focaccia bread and I was like, I just want a slice of that. And I was like, damn
So
it.
bad.
And so now I'm like, okay, maybe my brain starts to do this thing where I'm like, well, maybe I could just make a little adjustment here. And I'm
Right.
like, no, I made a commitment. This is what I'm doing for the next 100 days. Um,
Cool. Good for
But
you.
I want to try to get back to like really great shape because this summer was pretty hard too, even in the yard. I just didn't feel that great, like my body's not moving. I gotta go build stuff. I'm like out of breath. I'm like, this sucks.
Right.
And so you touched on this. You're like, why do we as people, this is our best piece of equipment is what we're walking around in every single day. And I think like, I mean, I talked about supercars and Santa, and I'm like, would you put like bad fuel into your supercar? Like, no. And then, but we're gonna do it with our bodies just because our taste buds want it. And I
Right.
think that if, when you talked about COVID, and I think that if more people really got on board with, you know, healthy support local, everybody's got that support local, movement, and then they're at Walmart, shopping. I'm like, you guys are not doing that. You're doing it when it's convenient, going to the farmers market in the summer to get some stuff. And
Right.
you guys went there this year too, right? The farmers market?
Yeah, we did the whatever the original farmers
Yeah,
market
yeah.
Red Deer is called. I don't know what the actual name of it
Red
is,
Deer
but
Farmers
Red
Market.
Deer Farmers Market. Yeah, it was a blast. I've never been there. Like it's a huge farmers market. I think it's one of the biggest in Alberta.
Yeah.
And I once heard that like there's 10,000 people who come through there each morning. Maybe that
Wow.
stat's outdated. Um, but I've been farming here for 14 or 15 years and never gone. And then started going this year and it was cool. It was like a really big learning experience. It was really fun to just get to know a ton more people, and I wear this stupid garlic hat when I go.
Yeah.
Um,
Carrots.
it's like a whole other side of marketing. I guess for so long I've like felt like marketing is a digital thing,
Yeah.
but it was really fun to have marketing be like a real life face-to-face thing, and I don't have
Well,
to be lost in spreadsheets or
yeah. I mean, it's hard too, right? Because um, yes, being in front of people obviously sells, right? You can do it.
right,
But in today's day and age with online and marketing, and if you've got a good funnel and you've got good ads, you guys have a big social media following, right? You start to grow that out. It's like you put a little ad spend on, and next thing you know, your ad's doing, fairly well, and you're like, I didn't have to spend all day standing around in a garlic hat, to reach new clients. But you're
right.
also there selling, you're talking, you're having communication. So I think that it's like it's definitely good. Was it a success for you this year being there? Like, do you see yourself going back there next summer?
Yeah, we're gonna go back for sure. It was fun to like track my sales week to week and see what was happening. And it started off really low, like the first two. It's so funny because I've been doing this for, like I said, about 15 years. And it's like I'm the center of my own world. I think everybody knows about Steel Pony Farm. And I show up and there's just like thousands of people passing by, not even glancing in my direction. And like I'm just unknown, you know?
Oh,
And it was really humbling, but then it was also an opportunity to be like, okay, how do I change this? What do I do? And every single week, I'm pretty sure every single week we sold more. There wasn't one downturn. Until at the end, like our last three markets were really lucrative. So my hope is that we can like kind of catch some of the momentum that we got from last year. We're going to be starting from a way higher place at very least, and then just keep building.
and now, like, because like, are you a pretty big numbers guy?
I don't know. I'm not sure
Okay.
if I'm big or small numbers guy, but
No, no, I mean, like, do you track a lot of stuff?
I I do like when it suits me. I do when I need something out of it, but I don't when I don't need something out of it. You know what I mean?
Okay. Like, so what I was gonna ask is like, do you know like how many new clients did you get from being at the market that are now like ordering from you on a weekly basis?
I don't, it's hard to track that, like to know for sure.
Right.
I have like a promo code that I give out at market, but I also give it out other places too. So I can't say like, was this promo code used just by a farmer's market customer
Oh, you
or was
should
it
change
used?
that.
Yeah, I should. And it's like, there's just, there's a lot to do in a small business.
Yeah.
And I know I need to change that, and I
Mhm.
haven't yet.
Okay. Um, The reason I was asking is because like it's one thing to go and know like, hey, we made, $5,000 or $1,000 or whatever on the
Right.
day, and you're like, hey, this is profitable. We're moving some produce. We're doing stuff. But then like again, you're in that role of where you're just doing it for that 14 weeks or whatever, right? Like when you've
Right.
got availability, where it's like, well, to capture those people though, to then be like, well, did you know you can order online and then you can get it all week long? And I assume you have much different stuff at the market than you have on your online store.
Yeah, we don't ship all 300 products down there.
No, you're just taking
Um,
your own like produce stuff that you grow, I assume, right?
yeah, we kind of stick mostly to produce, and then like there's certain produce that we would bring that wasn't ours because we don't grow potatoes, for example, but people want
Right.
potatoes, and like re I like to bring really good stuff to market.
Yeah.
Um, like
Well,
just kind
and
of
the Red Deer market people are different too. Like it's a different demographic of people because we've been down there over the years. Like we were down there selling concrete stuff for some
oh
time.
right,
We were down there with our float studio, and like I remember thinking, oh, we should go do there for like silver and gold, but I was like, it's not the market for that. Even the
right,
indoor market, like it just really wasn't like that lucrative for us for that business. Well, it was like I got a really great influx in the beginning, but then it was the same people every week, and the same people aren't ordering, new bars of silver every week, right? They'd come
right,
talk to me, but they were already clients, and so that's why we pulled out of there from that business. But like
right.
the downtown market, I mean, people, it seems like they're going there to get their like snacky stuff, right? They want like a breakfast thing or some, fancy treats and, some produce and stuff like that. So to
Right.
sell those things, it's probably pretty um good for you in that regard for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something about farmers markets that's a little addictive to me because
Yeah.
it's like you can always be pushing to do something different and something more and get people's attention in a different way. And it's a huge energy output. Like I think I'm getting better at markets. When I used to do it, I think I was trying to be maybe someone who I expected they wanted me to be.
Ah,
And it was draining my energy a lot. I'd come home and I'd crash. And I just started to think about it. And I'm like, how do I do this in a way where I can like preserve my energy? And it's just being like 100% authentic. And you still have to try to sell stuff, but like the way that I am selling stuff is like I'll just be like, man, have you guys been to the grocery store lately? Some of the stuff there sucks. Like like you know what you're getting when you go into that like those center aisles of the grocery store and it's just hyper processed. It's like,
yeah.
how about some of these carrots which were grown like 5 kilometers from here, 10 kilometers from here? Like it's just easier, it's easier to like not bullshit people, but just to be like, some of this other stuff really sucks. Thanks for coming to the farmers market and supporting local farmers. It makes a huge difference to us. It really does.
Yeah.
Um, and then now it's, I don't know, I love going. I just want to be there. I was thinking about it today on the drive to town. I was listening. I have this one song I listen to um, when I'm driving to the market to get me pumped up. And I was listening to it today while I was driving to town to deliver veggies. And I was just getting ready. I'm like, oh, I want summer. I want to start delivering veggies to a farmer's market again.
Yeah. Yeah, well it is. Like I remember going there when we were there every week, like doing stuff when we had the studio or whatever, and we were driving down there every week to like, let people know and be there and talk to them and whatever. And like sometimes it just got to where I was like, oh man, that's how I felt being at the indoor market because it's three
Right.
days.
Right. Oh,
And
that's
I'm
a
like, oh
commitment.
man, it's a huge commitment. And I know like I know they have the outdoor market on Fridays, right? And that's where I was like, ooh, that might be a cool spot for you guys too, because it's just the morning, right? It's like
Right.
2 days. It's a different group of people that run through there, than go to the Saturday market because it's like the people that are out in Gas Alley and you know, but like having that demographic and those clients that are like coming to you consistently is a great way to grow business, right? Because it's just if you got people doing recurring business where they're ordering every week, it's like, hey, now you can start to like, how can I how can we add more clients to that so that we can be doing even more, in business? But what are some of the biggest challenges you faced over your 15 years in business?
Well, when I first started, this older farmer I was chatting with, he's like, if you're worried about weather, this is the wrong business for you. And I mean, I don't really worry about it. Like, it's rare that I'm like up late at night worried about weather, but weather has screwed us a few times. Like,
Oh
we
yeah.
have, it's starting to feel like a distant memory, but it was so present for a while. But 2 years in a row, it was probably like 2021, 2022, I'm guessing. We had these hailstorms that just completely leveled our garden.
Yeah.
And the one year, the first year in particular, I was kind of going for it and had expanded my garden and had quite a bit of staff. And I figured like after all was said and done, that between like wages for seeding and weeding and irrigating and then seeds themselves, like I had about $40,000 invested into that garden. And it was just like like hit the delete button. It was just such a bummer, you know? And so I think like that's the biggest challenge is just the uncertainty. We never know what's coming. Sometimes a day away. So well, I mean, you don't know it's even coming 20 minutes away sometimes. Um, and there's not really good crop insurance for vegetable farmers. It's a
Oh,
bit of a work in progress, but right now it's like I got a quote 2 years ago, and like to insure my garden would be like around $20,000 a year. Um, and like that's a huge portion of my profits. Some years that's all my profits. So it doesn't really make sense to get insurance right now. There's this huge disparity because the federal government and the provincial government will subsidize like a grain farmer's crop insurance. And if I recall correctly, that they each pay, I think they each pay 30%. It's something like that. So then about 60% of the premium is covered. So the farmer only has to pay 40% of it. But they don't do that for vegetable farmers. And it's like, it's kind of just like been grandfathered in that way. I don't think it's because the government's saying vegetable farmers aren't important. Um, but then there's also these little caveats, like apparently if you have, I got so many numbers in my head. I think it's like over 30 acres of a single crop, then the government will subsidize some of those
oh,
things. But I've got like between 4 and 6 acres any given year of like 30 crops.
right.
So I just, many of us small farmers don't qualify for that kind of thing. So I think like hands down, weather uncertainty is the biggest challenge. And I also know what business I'm in and I'm willing to deal with it. And those few times where we have had a real disaster, the community has really like gathered and helped us recover,
Yeah.
um, which has been really good. Other challenges, I don't know, man. A challenge on a farm, like every day there's a new challenge. Tractor breaks down, it's like some miscommunication and the wrong things get harvested or planted or weeded. We'll have like pest issues that come up or disease issues that come up. Um, I think a big challenge for me has just been like trying to remain in the eye of the storm and stay calm and cool and collected when there's like, I mean, I don't know what it's like to run any other business,
Fair.
but I think that a vegetable farmer and like add the food hub on there, there's so many variables, right? Because like for me personally, like there could be like 40 to 60 hours a week of admin work. But then there's also managing like between 5 and 8 or 5 and 10 staff and like what they're doing. And then weather, and then getting up early and irrigating and staying up late and irrigating. And it's just like thing after thing after thing. So I think the biggest challenge is just like trying to stay cool and calm and collected at the center of it and um, figure out when I'm feeling angry where to channel that energy in a way that doesn't make other people feel shitty.
Yeah.
Um, and I think I'm getting good at it, but it's like I'm a human who slips up too. And yeah,
So where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where would you like to be in 5 years?
I like to be. It's funny, I don't spend a whole lot of time, like I know this is antithetical to like all self-help advice out there, but I just try to solve the biggest problem that's in front of me and then see where that takes me. It's like I know if in the next 5 years I would like to have a more profitable business.
Right.
Because profit margins have been really low the last few years. I mean, I'd like to have a few people on board who can do a lot of the admin work so that I can do a bit more of the things I like, which is just being out in the field, harvesting and weeding and planting, because I don't really get to do that stuff much anymore. Um, yeah, I don't have like a big dream other than like making people like you and Rin and other customers making your lives easier and providing you with more healthy food.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, and that's a good goal to have. I Yeah, I mean, I said this during COVID a lot, and even now, right? It's like if you want to know where your food comes from and you can support a local farmer, no matter where you are, you're going to have a better chance at survival if things get really bad. You know,
Right.
I mean, I've always thought that. I mean, I know we live here in Canada, so it's like if the trucks aren't coming up from, the warmer states, we're in trouble, right? Unless you're going to live on quinoa and root vegetables all winter long from a bag, like stuff,
Right.
you know. And but I just that's always been my thing. I'm like, I hope it, works out that can grow. Like I try to tell everybody about it, I talk to you often because I tell this story where I'm like, and I hope this is okay if I talk about our arrangement. Is that okay?
It's fine with me.
Okay, okay. So, we started chatting, like for a while, right? And you were talking about wanting to buy some silver and wanting to get into it and needing to do a budget. And like when I was running my concrete company, I did a live tonight on this concrete page, everything concrete. We have like 300,000 members. And we are talking about business and growth. And I was like, when I would try to help friends that had businesses, it's like people didn't want to listen to me. I felt, right? When I was just the concrete guy. They're like, "Ah, what do you know about running a business?" It's like I had one of the largest concrete companies in our city for a long time. But when I switched to this investing world, people would like listen to me in a different way. And I really like that. And so when we were chatting though about like, budgeting and whatever, and I remember you saying like, well, I want to do a budget and get, do some concrete or not concrete, get some silver. And I was like, well, what if I just buy my groceries with silver? And you're like, hey, we could do that. And so we worked out an arrangement that I could just, instead of paying cash every week for groceries, I could just pay you with some ounces of silver. And so the reason I said all that is because I told this story because, like, I tell it lots to clients. Because, like, back when we started, right, we were doing like a 10-ounce bar of silver, right? And that would get me like a week and a half's worth of groceries, like when we did it. And I was like, this same bar now, like less than a year later, will get me almost 4 weeks of groceries. It's the same bar. Like really, because this bar now that we used to give us, whatever, around $500, it's worth almost a grand now,
It's gone up a
right?
lot.
It's
Yeah.
gone up a lot. Yeah, it's like $98 today, an ounce. So this bar is like $980, and I'm like,
I think
so
there
when
were a
I
few times because you'd give me the money and I'd add credit to your account. There were a few times where it was like $440, $450 that I was adding to your account.
yeah, yeah, because that's what the price. But now it's 980.
That's
you know
crazy.
and that's a crazy thing. And so like for me, I was glad because there are some times where I could just like, yeah, give you some ounces, and that wasn't a big deal. And Ren's like, you're giving all of our ounces away. And I was like, well, we're just ordering more. Like, like whether we're paying for groceries or I'm ordering silver, either way, I'm like, or whether I'm paying with silver and then ordering silver or just paying for
Right.
groceries, either way, it's like the money's disappearing. So it's like one or the other. But I'm like, but if we could buy silver, my thought was like, and this is the part about like caring. I'm like, if I can just give my friend some silver in exchange, and like I know deep down where we're going with silver. And so I know, like, I mean, without saying how many ounces and weeks and all that stuff, but I'm like, you got a pretty good little nest egg of silver from just exchanging them for groceries. And I would tell this story to lots of people where I would say, like, find somebody local, like my clients, I mean. I'm like, find somebody local that you can pay for your groceries with some silver that you got. Exchange it for your groceries and teach them and help them, do that. And I've had clients go like to farmers markets and things and be like, will you take silver? And I think most farmers are pretty educated when it comes to real wealth stuff like silver,
Right,
gold, and they're like, shoot, I'd way rather take some silver than some paper,
right.
So um yeah, I got some cool ideas from this podcast that I wrote down that I want to share with you after we get off because it's not for the public, but I
Is this me distributing silver in my weekly veggie
no, no,
boxes?
no. But that would be cool. No, that would be actually kind of hilarious to be like Costco did it, now we're doing it. Um, how can everybody find you, Mike, that's listening, that's like local? I mean, what and even in saying that local, like I know I got listeners and clients all over the country, but what areas and communities do you deliver to right now?
Yeah, great question. So I'll start south. So Innisfail, Penhold, Red Deer, Sylvan, Bentley, Lacombe, Black Falls. I think I got them all.
Dang. And so do you just do a different delivery date?
We do them all. We do most of them on Wednesday, and then we
Oh.
do. Actually, we right now we get everywhere on Wednesday, and then we have like a second delivery day for a certain portion of Red Deer on Thursday.
So those other communities, do you just drop it somewhere and somebody else does it, or you have staff there or do it at different times?
We just drop it at some places. So like in Innisfail, it's at the Farmer's Table, which is a great butcher shop. Penhold is Piece by Piece Nutrition, which does a whole bunch of like frozen meals that are really high
Yeah.
quality, like just good ingredients. Um, Bunch of breweries, bunch of butcher shops, flower shops, basically places with fridges.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. Yeah, that's good. That's awesome. So where can people find you? How do they order? What do they do?
Yeah, SteelPony.ca is our website, and you can go there and there's a big order now button and you can check out the products we've got. And Instagram, Steel Pony Farm, Facebook, Steel Pony Farm. That's about it.
And Mike, I'm really glad you could come on for my Christmas special.
Merry
And
Christmas, Luke.
Merry Christmas to you too. Merry Christmas to the audience. Yeah, thanks a lot for coming on. You've always been a good supporter of stuff that we're doing too. And so it's easy to support you back for sure, man, because you've always been an encourager to people, and I just want to see more good people doing good, you know?
Oh, thanks, Luke. Really appreciate your support. Happy to be on here. It's just exciting to be able to have a little piece of your time.
Yeah, perfect. Well, Mike, thanks again for coming on the show and have a really good Christmas. And we'll see you when we pick up our next order in the new year.
Can't wait.
When the system shakes, paper wealth disappears overnight. But real wealth, it doesn't flinch. Gold and silver have outlasted every currency ever printed. The question isn't if this next storm comes, it's what will you do when it does. Visit learnwealthcycles.com. You too can own what's real.